Imagine you are online shopping, looking for that perfect t-shirt. You went for it to this random website. You applied all the filters, so shirts, minimal price, of course. You narrow down the results to a couple, but you're still not sure which one to get. You want to get a second opinion, maybe from your significant other, maybe from your bro, and you copy the link without really putting too much thought behind it. You send it over and you're like, yo, which shirt is the best? And they respond with, what shirts? What do you mean? I open the link and there are all sorts of things here. And then in horror, you look at the URL and you realize the search filters are not in the URL because the application probably ran this logic on the client side. And these types of situations are the bane of my existence. I really, truly hate it. And if you don't want anyone to hate your website, you may want to put on your detective hat, because we are going to revisit the crime scene where the crimes against the user experience were committed. So let's start by identifying three crucial pieces of state in this application. We have the filters on one side, so all the categories, accessories, shirts, and so on. On the other side, we have the sort by, so the sorters, price, name, and so on. And at the top, we have the search phrase. So yeah, this is where we can type stuff. In a regular client-side React application, we would probably keep those in some separate use states, maybe pass it down through props, or maybe we would have like a one central store and propagate it through context or whatever. But what if I tell you we can actually make the code that manages those pieces of state a bit simpler while also getting user experience gains? And we can do that by putting this state into the URL. So this will be the end result of our little refactoring session. And we will start by turning our filters into a dynamic root. So this is the syntax you're probably familiar with, the slash square brackets root name, so category in our case. So we will have slash accessories, slash audiobooks, and so on. Then we will turn the sorters, the sort by, into a search param. So if you don't know what a search param is, we will have a reminder in a moment. But basically, this is this key equals value pair we add to our URL. So sort by equals price, for example. And the search phrase we will also turn into a search param, which we will call search. Yeah, it's also a search param. And search params are basically a way of setting storing information in our URL. So you can initialize it with this new URL search params object. You can set them, you can get them. There are many different syntaxes to set them. And then finally, you can stringify it, which gives you this familiar looking string with first key equals first value, ampersand, second key equals second value, and so on and so on. So this is the exemplary code from our bad category links. So we basically get our set active category slug function from use search context. Let's imagine this is like a custom hook wrapping our React context. We are getting that from this context because we want to set it in one component and read the result of it in another. So yeah, no other way to do it. And we are firing it on a button click. It's awful. But with our new approach, with restructuring our application with this new dynamic root category, we can actually just simply link to those category pages. And if we set up our Next.js layouts correctly, this will not cause like a big reload of our application. It will just re-render the pieces that should be affected in the UI. So similar situation with the sorters. We have the set active sorter function. We execute it on a button click. Yeah, bad stuff. But once again, the regular Next.js link comes to the rescue, but only this time we are not linking to a dynamic root. We are actually adding the URL search param to our current URL, which will be appended after clicking the link. So once again, no reloads, just good user experience. And finally, we have the search form. So this is the component from which we will call our API to get the search results. Here we need to get all of those pieces of client-side state. So the filter, search, sorter, we need to use it to call our fetch products function. And because we want to use those products in another component that we want to, where we want to render those products, we are firing this set products function on it. And yeah, here we are rendering, and just pay attention to the fact that all of that requires useClient because we are using context. So with Next.js 13 and above, but also pretty much any Next.js version, we can just simply redirect the user to this to basically the current URL, but we append the value of our search field, which we expect that is probably in there somewhere in this form, and we don't have to worry about getting all of those other pieces of URL state, because if they are there, they are there. URL is global. You don't have to like subscribe to it or anything. We can just append the current URL. And our final piece is the category page. So this is the page we restructured our application around, so to say. So in this page.tsx, so our very top level component, we can actually access both the search params and the params, which are the name of our dynamic route, so category, at this top level function arguments level. And we can execute all sorts of logic inside the component body in like full React Server Components fashion, which will result in getting our products from our API fully on the server side, which, like I said, hopefully simplifies the code, but also gives us this nice URL that we can reload. So that was it. Thank you very much. If I have one intention for you, is to look at routing your application as a way of expressing its state. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian.